Hi, I would like to show you the concept that I've built for the Colours Hackathon 2014. It's a Sitecore plugin that shows you the component statistics of specific components within your page. It's a page editor enabled plugin, but I'm showing you it standalone right now because that was a bit easier to demo for the hackathon. What I've done is this is a long page with different components, as you can see here, and each component has a flyout that shows statistics about the component itself. The website that I've built, it's a 7.5 based Sitecore website. It's a clean install, and this website shows you what the concept is about. And as you can see here, what I'm trying to say is that content editors normally do not take action based on the website statistics. They are only visible to the web analyst, and I think it would be great if the content editor can access this information real time, so he can make decisions based on that statistics. And that's why I've made the following. Each component gets a flyout with statistics about the component, and for now there are the following counters. I've got the page views, the viewed, the clicks, and the speed. The page views is simply how many times this component is loaded in the page, and viewed is the amount of times that this component is actually viewed by the visitor. As you can see here, this is the top component, the first one in the row, and it's viewed almost as many times. Well, you can see here it's 88, almost as many times as it is loaded. But if you go down to the bottom of the page, there's a features component describing the features of my ID, and while it's loaded 249 times, it's only viewed 55 times, and that's because the visitor did not scroll down and he did not get the full component in his viewport each time the page was loaded. And this is a trigger for content editors to maybe move this component up, or to include triggers to tell the visitor that there's more content on the bottom of the page. Next to this page views and viewed statistics, there's also a clicks counter, which actually just counts the clicks within this component. Could be on a link, could also be just anywhere in the component, but it's about the clicks generated by this component. And on the right you have the load time of the complete page, and you see this small piece. It's symbolizing the time it takes for this component to load, opposed to all other components within this page. And why is that useful? I think that for content editors it's hard to see which element is the most slow element in the page, and if they want to improve slow pages, it's really useful to see what components are loading slower than others. It could be that this one is loading a bit slower, could be that the image used is too large, or maybe there's an include of a third-party component that's loading slow. And well, I'm going to log into Sitecore right now, so I can show you what it does on within the content management system. Nope, I don't want to save my password. I've got a data source folder that contains all the data sources I used, and you can see here this is the hackathon slider on the top of the page, and it has a subtitle, page title, and all other content. And on the bottom there is the counter segment, which contains the number of page views, scrolled into views, and clicks, and this is actually the same information that is to be seen here. How does it work? If we are going to look in the code over here, you can see this is just a regular user control, a regular sub layout, and that contains some field renderers with data sources pointing to the current selected data source, and this has got an include of user control that saves all this information, but to not influence the load time of the component itself. And I've done this. Let me see. This is the component that's been loaded. I have to scroll upwards a bit. It's a very simple setup. It's a concept where you got a callback into a web service, and that is called asynchronously. And in this web service, I just update the fields in the data source element. Of course, this is all markup code. You can do this a lot more generic and a lot better, but it actually worked right now, and it was what I was looking for. This way the slider gets updated each time it is viewed, each time it is loaded, and each time it is clicked. And if we're going to switch back to the solution, you can see I got 94 page views, and I've seen the features component 55 times. And if I just reload the page, then it scrolls into view, and I've got an extra counter. So what it does, it gives you insight about how your components perform. It's editor enabled. It's a shippable Sitecore package. You can just install it, and if you inherit the base layout that calls this user control, then you don't need to edit all components you're adding or sub layouts. It just works out of the box, and that also goes for the template. Right now I've done it like this. I've made a very simple statistics template that contains the fields that I want to store in each data source template. And for example, the slider has got an inheritance. It doesn't only inherit from the standard template, but it also inherits from the statistics template, and this way I can easily extend what I'm going to store about the elements. And last but not least, it's real-time information, so you can act as soon as possible and make your site perform better, and you don't have to wait for a web analyst or statistics over a longer period of time from an external system that tell you how your site works. You can do it in the page editor itself, and I think that's a big advantage. And that's all I have right now. What I'm trying to do in the near future is I want to extend this plugin, and for now the page speed should be optimized because it only measures the load time of the DOM elements. And I want to figure out how I can measure the load time of the actual components, including third-party elements, but that's something for later on. This was all what I could do in 24 hours. So here it is, the page editor statistics component for Sitecore. Thank you for your attention. Bye.